Hey there! In this video, I want to show you how I built this light up top hat speaker for 4th of July. So come along! The reason for building the top hat is for a party on the go. Hands-free, no problem. You can see what I mean by the end of the video. Cool! So the first thing to do here is cut this guy so that I can make it longer and then fit the speaker inside. Something like this. Whatever. Good enough. This tape method I learned from building surfboards, and it helps you get a straight line on a curved surface. Cool. Yeah, this is about right. This is a cool hat, just by itself. There might be something there. But that's not what we're doing right now. We're actually gonna make this thing even cooler. Now that I cut the hat in half, it's time to create the extension. And I want to use cardboard for this since it's readily available and easy to work with, and I can cut it and stuff. So yeah. I'm creating the outline of the hat here. It wasn't a perfect circle, it was kind of an oval, and here was a big brain moment. Instead of using the scissors, I used the X-Acto knife, and that worked out a lot better. Nice. This part I'm marking out the center where the speaker is gonna go, and if I do this right, it's gonna be a lot less work later on, hopefully. Nice. Awesome. It's looking good. I can cut a hole on the top that will allow the sound to come out. That'll be cool. Adjustable hat. Need some more cardboard. Now I'm cutting the second part of the extension structure and marking the center. And in this case, I'm actually making the hole a little bit smaller so that the speaker can bottom up against the structure. It's so nice to have a sharp X-Acto. It just cuts through this like butter. Not bad. No, it's up there. Get this guy on top. Now I just have to make all the little fins that will attach that bottom oval to the top oval, and that'll be the support of the extension. Alright, this came right in time, so we can put it all together. Do I make this first, or do I glue these parts on together? That's the question. Yeah. I decided to start by just putting all the cardboard pieces together because I thought it would be easier to work with. And so here I'm cutting out these slices to make it easy for the LEDs to route around, and I'm going to start gluing it with the hot glue gun. Now join me for a moment to go over hat history on top hats. The top hat was invented in the 18th century by a dapper fellow named John Hetherington. According to the fashion historians, the top hat may have been derived from the sugarloaf hat, or the capitaine. In the 19th century, the stovepipe top hat, which was a very long, basically you're wearing like a pipe on your head hat, was used by Abraham Lincoln, and he was known to hide letters in there. I hope you're not paying any attention to my gluing efforts because I really struggled through this part. but it came out okay at the end. Wikipedia says that the 1840s and 1850s was one of the craziest expressions of top hats, but I think the 21st century is that now. We have 20-foot tall hats. So freaking cool. There's also tiny hats for toads. People are so damn creative, I love it. So we need to revisit that Wikipedia article on top hats. It's pretty strong. A little wobbly, but it's fine. So I'm be carrying that much weight. Sick. The idea is I'm going to use this cable to hold the speaker in. Cool. So that kind of holds it in place. Now I'm attaching the head harness to the rim of the hat, and this will allow for a lot of support. So I've been doing a lot of thinking about how hats affect our psychology, and I found a few interesting things. One of them was the 6 thinking hats technique for problem solving that allows us to see a problem in different perspectives. Basically, the thought experiment is that each hat, you have 6 hats, and each hat has a different mental mode. One is creative, another one is analytical, and so on. I'll add some information on the description below about that. But it's really interesting because the author of that paper is using hats as a form of symbolizing perspective. And I'm pretty sure he used a hat because there's something more to it. Now I'm cutting a hole on the top of the hat that will allow for the top speaker to be heard. And I'll be adding a mesh to cover that up as well. I'm glad I didn't go with a heavier speaker because this feels like it's right on the edge of falling down. Good thing I got this strap, but honestly the best thing I could have done was cut this at a higher level so my head could fit deeper into the strap, because right now my head is bottoming out against the... No, it's not bad. Cool. So there was also a study conducted at the University of Columbia that found out that the clothes we wear have a psychological effect. The study had its participants wear a doctor's white coat and had them go through the Stroop test, which is basically an attention test. Another set of participants were given the same coat but would be told that it's a painter's coat and asked to do the experiment. The participants wearing the lab coat made half as many errors as the ones who were wearing the painter's coat. The important key here is that the act of putting on the coat and also associating it with a doctor had the cause of a momentary shift in identity. Ooh. If this happens with coats, then imagine what a hat would do. In some ways, we can imagine hats as being a form of self-hypnosis. They have the power to transport us out of our perspectives as long as we believe in them. Cool. What? That looks badass. So now that we tested the wiring from the power supply, it's time to connect the power of the LEDs to the USB and test that directly on the lithium-ion battery. And it works. Awesome. So now what's left to do is basically tape the LED strip to the structure, the cardboard structure. And I'm just gonna do that in a circular pattern to try and get as much light in there as possible. Looking good, looking good. In this step, I'm extending the LED strip. I bought 2 strips and I cut a section of one off and I'm adding it to the end of this one. So yeah, just soldering it all together and then soldering the USB cable and testing it. Sick. All right. Whoa. So it's not super stable, but at least it won't fall off. I'm gonna go like this. Whoa. Oh shit. So, almost done with the hat. I just have to put the mesh that will hide all of this. And I just came back from the store and I bought this yarn. Well, I don't really know what you call it, but it's very nice. And it matches this bottom one that was down here. So it's kind of in the same style. I think I'm gonna cut this one off because I don't need that one anymore. So this is the final steps here, just gluing on the top of the top hat to the top, and then adding the speaker mesh. I glued the speaker mesh together upside down and then turned it around so that you wouldn't see that glued seam. And then I grabbed this little strip and hot glued it all around so that it would hide that transition from the mesh to the hat. And it worked really well. This goes straight up like that. Great. Wow. That works really well. I can look at things in here. Oh, nice and tight. Just barely. Hey, Alicio. What do you think of my hat?
Does it work?
Yeah, it works.
Okay.
Would you like to see?
Yeah.
It's straight out of SpongeBob.
drop that ass. Deep down low.
I'm glad you made it this far. I hope you liked the video, and please leave a comment. Have a good one.